right, quick logistical announcement before we begin. Walk-ins, I know you've checked in, but be sure to register yourselves at hackmit.org/walk-in so that you can get all the emails with the API keys and any important information you need. So take note of that. And let's start the opening ceremony. Yeah, come on. Good morning, guys. My name is David, and I'm honored to be your MC for the opening and closing ceremonies here at HackMIT 2014. Who's excited to be here today? Come on. Awesome. It's great to see you guys all out here on bright and early Saturday morning. And I know since it's Saturday, some of you might be tired. So here's a little trick that I like to do, if I'm feeling tired in class. This is what I want you guys to do. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Now do that for the next 8 hours, and you're good. I wake up, class is over, I'm refreshed. It's a win-win. There you go. No, but really, please, our hackathon, we're going to bring a lot of stuff for you today. We got workshops, mentors, everything. So it's probably in your best interest to stay awake. So you might be asking, what makes HackMIT a hackathon like none other? Well, for one, we have an unprecedented lottery system this year that gave equal opportunity to all hackers. We also had CatMIT, which was a hidden admissions puzzle for those intrepid souls brave enough to face Cats Anonymous. And finally, we also have great food, great mentors, and amazing sponsors here today. Shout out to our platinum sponsors, Uber, Amadeus, and Google. And most importantly, what makes this a hackathon like none other is you guys. No other hackathon will ever have quite a unique group as this, with your same ideals, your same passions, beliefs, skills, and stories. So give it up for yourselves, come on. That's what I like to hear. And also, your energy for this hackathon is reflected in what we've done for this hackathon. I'm privileged and honored to call myself a part of the HackMIT 2014 organizing team this year. And without their energy, their drive, their passion, this event could not have been possible. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to the co-directors of HackMIT 2014 this year, Katie Siegel and Jennifer Zhang. Give it up.
Hi everyone, welcome to HackMIT. I'm Katie, and this is my co-director Jenny. And we really hope that you're as excited as we are to be here. We have lots of talented people from around the world with lots of different skills and backgrounds here today. So I'd really encourage you, over the course of this event, just introduce yourself to as many people as possible. Today, you're going to hear from Alexis Ohanian and Adora Cheung, our two wonderful speakers, and as well as a number of sponsors. Also, this afternoon, continuing into this evening, we have a series of workshops, tech talks, and fireside chats. You can see details of the schedule in your day of booklet.
Hey guys, hope you're having a great time so far. I just wanted to go over some logistical details. You should have your day of booklet in your swag bag. That is going to have everything you need to know for the rest of the day. The schedule is there, so please refer to that. Also, check out dayof.hackmit.org. This is our website for the whole day, and it will have almost everything you need to know where to go when. So that's dayof.hackmit.org. Also, tweet at us at HackMIT. Use any of the following hashtags: hashtag HackMIT, hashtag CatMIT, SnackMIT, or PackMIT. Any that you would like to hashtag us at. Also, tag us on Facebook. Yeah, we're just called HackMIT on Facebook. Nothing too special. Now I'm going to turn it back to David, who will introduce our speakers. Thanks, guys.
Now I'd like, hello. Now I'd like to introduce our first keynote speaker of the day. Alexis Ohanian is a startup founder and investor in Brooklyn, New York. After graduating from the University of Virginia in 2005, Alexis and his co-founder Steve Huffman started Reddit. Who here has heard of Reddit? Everyone? All right, good. Alexis also helped launch Hipmunk and was a key figure in the fight against the congressional bills SOPA and PIPA. Alexis also invests and advises over 80 tech companies, or 80 tech startups, and is a current partner at Y Combinator. He has created and also hosts a show on The Verge called Small Empires about New York tech startups, and has also written a national best-selling book without their permission. So without further ado, let's give it up for Alexis.
Hey everybody. How you guys all doing? Excellent, excellent. Very happy to be back here. All 6 of you seem like you're doing well. And because this is a big part of hackathon season, I think a lot of you have probably come from a long way to get here. Just out of curiosity, anyone here from the Commonwealth of Virginia? Yeah, representing. Any UVA students? None. Oh. And I know all the others are from Virginia Tech, but so it goes. I'm really excited to be back here because it's kind of nostalgic for me. I didn't go to school here, but I was in the first batch of Y Combinator, and back in 2005, it was based here. And I remember moving up here with Steve. We got an apartment in Medford, or I guess Medfa, and we started working. And we basically showed up without much, really, other than a mascot. And 3 weeks later, we launched to the world. And this was the place that I called home. Not literally this, but this side of the Charles River. So I've got a ton of amazing memories of it. I also have a black screen behind me, so I'm just gonna riff on that. Sorry. The other interesting thing that I've noticed, I was at the very sort of kickoff to the M-Hacks. All right. And it was really cool because I saw firsthand the very start of this entire hackathon season, and I saw so many people so excited to spend a weekend writing code, right? I wish we had hackathons when I was in college. We did not. And to see so many people so excited to be like learning and to be creating is so heartening, because this right here, okay, you all are setting yourselves up. This is the best position you could possibly put yourselves in, because the sooner you can develop this kind of hunger for making and learning and doing, the better. And one of the things I also really enjoyed was how I think for this year of hackathons, people are really interested in making them as inclusive and awesome as possible. So have any of you never been to a hackathon before? Wow, okay, great. All right, see all those hands? Every one of you who's been here before, been to a hackathon before, go out of your way to make someone feel welcome here. Go out of your way to help someone out. Go out of your way to give them a high five or a fist bump, or with their permission, a hug. But really, like this is such, the ideals of hackathons are so awesome. I really hope we can live up to them. Because it's a great time to be a hacker. It's a great time to be writing code and making things with software. And we're here at MIT. You all have an amazing rotunda here, which is kind of like ours. It's much bigger than ours, actually, at UVA. It's not about size, though. It's just how you use it. There we are. Okay, yeah, it's a little tiny one. But the point is, this is where Steve and I went to school. What changed our life was really just some waffles. Some of you may know this story. Waffles are amazing, but it was basically these that saved me from becoming a lawyer. I walked out of an LSAT prep class because I was really hungry, and I went to a Waffle House and had breakfast instead, and realized law school is expensive. If I hate studying for it this much, I probably shouldn't be a lawyer. And so Steve and I started talking about technology we wanted to exist in the world, and we were going to start this amazing company called My Mobile Menu, or and we applied to YC, and we got rejected for it, which sucked. And then we went out at Border Cafe and got drunk. And the next morning, hungover, on the way back to Virginia, we'd come up here for the interview. On the way back to Virginia, we were seniors, we were finishing up our senior theses. It was not a fun time. We got a call, and Paul Graham and Jessica Livingston had decided, you know what? We don't like their idea. It's too early, right? There were no smartphones back in 2005. There were Trios and Blackberries. Build something in a browser, they said, and we'll let you in. And so they took a chance on us, even though our idea kind of sucked. And fortunately they did, because this is us. This is when we just showed up to Y Combinator. Okay, this is it. First, this is like class photo day. And like I said, we didn't have a product yet, but we already had a mascot. And I already had a t-shirt with that mascot. Just not the right order to do things. Let me just be clear, okay? But already had a name, already had a mascot. And we had 3 months until demo day, and we just got started. And we got something live within about 3 weeks, and that was the first version of it. But one thing that I have to stress, and this is something that I think not enough founders do, is to mention that we had no fucking clue what we were doing. No clue. All we knew was at the core we wanted to build this platform for online communities to share links and have discussions. We'd all grown up using different types of forum software. We wanted to build the best platform for someone to spin up a community possible, and now we have 500,000. But we started with one. And we never could have expected the 500,000 different communities that now use Reddit, but we didn't need to expect them. We just needed to build a platform that could please 100 people in one community, and then maybe 1,000 people in two, and so on and so forth. And so my point is, don't let not knowing what you're doing stop you. It's really easy to look back on those stories of any company's founding and think, oh, well, they had a grand plan, right? Zuckerberg wanted to connect everyone in the world. Like, come on, no, that wasn't... That wasn't the origin of it. The first version of Twitter was just this silly little away message from your phone. Like, these things come. You just need to start with solving a simple enough problem that it can make a few people happy, that it can be something people want. You can figure out the rest. And I can assure you, even now, 9 years into this, I still don't know what I'm doing most of the time. Okay, we're all hacking it. You know, Paul and Jessica were hacking it when they started Y Combinator. We're still figuring out what we're doing, always, okay? So don't let that uncertainty stop you. Let it encourage you to start doing. And on that note, remember, it's just having ideas and doing them. Being entrepreneurial is open to anyone. That's what I love about the spirit of hackathons, right? It gets us out of the mindset of simply being consumers, but also being creators. And that's why I want so many people to be coming to these and to feel included here and to feel like they're makers. Right? That's why I rented a bus and drove it around for 5 months all over North America, visiting 85 universities, talking about entrepreneurship. But we're all here because we already get it, right? You already understand the value of code, the value of making, because you do it all the time. Or maybe you want to start doing it all the time. And if there are first-time developers here, great, awesome, welcome. Right? I can't wait to see the look on your faces when you first get Hello World to show up. They're still doing those tutorials, right? Have I just dated myself? But really, it's an amazing feeling, and one day you'll look like that when you're hacking away on the sofa. But really, this is just another iteration of tools that we as humans have always been really good at, right? We made some huge strides as organisms once we started using these things. And we made a huge leap once the printing press sort of disrupted all those scribes. Right? Because then ideas could scale, and ideas could be created by just about anyone, and they could be consumed by just about anyone who had access. But it was an interesting time back then, because obviously literacy was not as widely distributed yet. And for the few people who were literate, think of how valuable it was, who had the access to the knowledge and who had the skills to make the most out of it. Think of how valuable it was to be there during that time, and it was still just a small portion of the world's population. And we're at it right now. This is where we're at right now, because this is the new literacy. And there's a portion of the population, well, most of these people in this room here, who are at the same kind of moment, except now the ideas are worldwide. Now the ideas can be spread instantly so long as you have a connection and you have the skills to make the most out of it. This is an amazing time right now to be where you all are sitting. Okay, so please don't squander it, because frankly, you're wizards. Okay? You are wizards. Congrats. all right? This is an amazing, amazing opportunity, and it's also really fun. It's kind of win-win. And it is rare that these things work out, but look, a lot of this new world is going to be written and created by many of you in this room. So be skeptical of the status quo and be skeptical of the things that are the way they're supposed to be, right? I got a news flash for you. Your GPA doesn't really matter. There you go. Wow. And I am not just saying that because I'm sure Reddit is responsible for hurting so many of your GPAs. That's part of it. But really, the things that are going to matter are the things that you've made, the things that you've contributed, right? Your Stack Overflow profile, your GitHub profile. These are the things that matter. What you have built at hackathons, what you have made is what matters. There's no form field on the Y Combinator application that says, what's your GPA? We don't care. We want to know what you've built. And if you haven't signed up for it yet, Y Combinator is teaching a class at Stanford, which is open, safety school, which is open to anyone. I can say that, right, as a UVA kid. I've got no horse in this race. But it's open to anyone. I think we had over 50,000 people signed up for the class so far. Please sign up for it if you haven't already. All the videos, all the tutorials, everything is there. And you guys are in for a special treat because you're going to hear from Adora a little bit later. And she just taught one of the classes at the aforementioned Stanford School of Engineering. I don't know what it's called. The point is, we want this knowledge to spread as far and wide as possible. And because you all already know the stories, right? You already know the Dropbox story, right? You know about Drew Houston. You know about him taking over the world. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. And I still remember when Drew was the solo founder who would show up to the open YC events with this SAT prep software. And we were like, dude, he had this other, it was like clearly this was a very smart, capable person, but just that idea just wasn't clicking. And then he comes back with this other thing, right? And you can find his Y Combinator application online, and every now and then I reread it. Because it's so amazing to see, right? At a time when it seemed like everyone had figured out file syncing, right? There were dozens of companies doing it. He proposed that it could just be done better. And he started it from a goddamn bus. He was at South Station and he left his thumb drive. And trust me, I had many good rides on the Fanghua, getting me between Boston and New York, but I never came up with Dropbox on the way. But the fact is, right, it took a startup. It took a laptop to start this now multi-billion-dollar company. And you know these stories, but I can assure you that when they started, they had very humble beginnings with very uncertain futures. All right, and I've got stories. I mean, I can tell you about Hitmonk, another product. You guys all know Adam was a MIT graduate, and he was having trouble booking flights for his debate team. It was a pain in the ass because all the other sites hated their users and had page after page after page of garbage results that no human ever wanted to take. But they just did because they were going to win more page views, which meant more money, instead of actually being aligned with their users. And look, but it didn't start out all warm and fuzzy. You know, when Steve and Adam approached me about a week or two before Hitmonk launched, I looked at them and I was like, guys, my dad's a travel agent. This is going to be really awkward if I tell him I'm going to join you all in this travel search startup. But furthermore, like, this is such a competitive space where the entire industry just doesn't care anymore. And they were like, that's exactly why. That's exactly why. And I remember when the founder of Kayak was on stage. This was our first conference, first big travel conference. And I remember him being on stage. And this is Kayak, a pretty chief competitor. He was asked about Hitmonk, and he said, I find their bravado refreshing, but their product unremarkable. I hope they don't become roadkill. And we just sat there just eating it up. When Adam took the stage afterward, he said, my name's Adam Goldstein. I'm the CEO of Hitmonk, the startup that Kayak can't stop talking about. He had no business, he just graduated from MIT, he had no business getting up on the stage, but the incumbents, as big and powerful as they were still a little scared. But if only they had known, this was actually the first version of the Hitmonk, a bear with buck teeth. The first version of everything is a little janky, and I'm a little embarrassed to show you this, but it took me a few iterations to get to something that actually looked like a chipmunk. And I say that similarly with Reddit. Some of you may have seen the headline there, Snoop Dogg's an investor. which is cool. It's amazing. But I can't tell you how many meetings we dealt with where we had people just absolutely blowing us off. In the most egregious case, we rather infamously visited Yahoo. Steve and I were there like 6 months after we had started, and traffic was growing. And this executive flew us out only to basically say, well, we got into our pitch, and a minute in, he just stopped me. And he said, you all are a rounding error compared to Yahoo. What are you even doing here? And we're like, well, you invited us. Is that like a thing? I don't know, is that a thing Yahoo does with early stage companies? But it happens time and time again. And so whatever it is you're working on, right, it may still look like a toy. It may get dismissed. The incumbents may even go out of their way to disrespect you. But it's okay, all right? It's part of the motivation that needs to wake you up in the morning. That, of course, was the founder of Dig. That's part of the motivation that should wake you up in the morning and remind you why you're doing what you're doing. You're doing it for your team, you're doing it for your users, okay? And I know it seems early, right? You're at a hackathon, you just want to build cool stuff, and that is fine. But look, some of you are going to go off and make amazing companies, and I want you all to remember this so that I can take credit for your success later. And on that note, like I said, Y Combinator is here to help. And so we threw together a little something. Thank you, Twilio. If you want to know about the next, like I said, the next class that we end up publishing to the world, or anything related to YC, or even just a, I don't know, friendly reminder that applications do, just text your email to this number. We won't use it for anything nefarious. It is entirely opt-in. And like I said, we're in a position now, and I see this 9 years into the game, and I am in awe of the founders who I get to meet and work with as a partner at Y Combinator. The reason I do that is, again, 1% so I can take credit for helping them, but 99% because I feel like I get to work with straight up wizards, where I get to work with people who are gonna do things far, far more impressive than anything Steve and I have done in the last 9 years, because that's innovation, right? That's progress. You should be doing stuff that's 10x cooler than what we were able to do in the last 10. And like I said, I'm gonna be a little jealous, but I'm gonna be mostly excited because it's gonna mean better things in so many disciplines. So like I said, please don't squander it, okay? You all are the wizards of this century and can do anything. So please take full advantage of it. And here are upvotes for all of you. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Alexis. Next up, we have Adora Cheung. Adora is the co-founder and CEO of Homejoy, an online platform for matching clients with screened, background checked, and certified home service professionals. Adora started the company in July of 2012 with her brother Aaron, and since has grown the team and platform to serve hundreds of thousands of households in cities, in over 30 cities across North America and Europe. Adora has also founded the Homejoy Foundation, an independent 501c3 nonprofit designed as an extension of the Homejoy social mission to make households happier. Here's Adora.
Hello. Thank you for having me here today. I must apologize, I'm a little bit jittery because I drank 5 cups of coffee and I made the wrong guess of which one was decaffeinated. So I think I'm super caffeinated right now. So I'm glad to be here at MIT. This place has a special, it's special to me, and I didn't go here, but my co-founder, Aaron, who's my younger brother, went here. He graduated in 2009. Yeah, PBE, yes. And he graduated with a chemical engineering degree. Speaking of PBE, are you guys from there? Right there, okay, you. So Actually, of our early employees, almost half of them, over half of them are actually from this one fraternity, PBE, which is based here in MIT. And I must thank them for, one of the skills you learn in college, one of the adult skills you're supposed to learn in college is how to clean your place. And so I thank this fraternity for providing an environment of which Aaron did not learn this skill. Because that is how Homejoy started, was, his place was a mess and he needed to find a cleaner, and it was just a very long and difficult process. And in any case, so today what I want to do is I want to spend some time talking about things that I wish I knew when I was in college, and in particular when I started the whole journey of being an entrepreneur. And I think hopefully what you'll get out of it is that I took the very hard route, and that you guys are way beyond, you're further than where I was at your age. And so the path to being a successful entrepreneur is very much within your reach at this moment. So a little bit about me. I am from South Carolina, and I grew up there and went to college there. I graduated from Clemson University with a comp sci degree. And I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. The words tech startup, merely 2 words in the dictionary for me. And so after college, I was going to become a professor. I basically entered a PhD program for economics at the University of Rochester in upstate New York, which the weather is awful outside today, but if you think 10 times worse than this, that's what Rochester, New York. So it wasn't the greatest place to live. And but I spent 3 or 4 years there, and it just so happened between my 3rd and 4th year there, I was working on research, I think, during the summer, and randomly one of my college friends showed up to my door and said, I have this idea and I need someone to help me code up, because he wasn't a programmer and he knew I knew how to program, and so I started working on this idea with him. And that's when I really got very obsessed and very passionate about startups and just building my own things. And I basically didn't go to class anymore. My research fell off. And soon enough, just 2 or 3 months in, I knew right away that I was going to move to San Francisco, move to Silicon Valley. And so that startup didn't work out, but that summer I decided just to find the first job I could in San Francisco. And that job was at a company called Slide. So Slide was very fortunate for me because it was a really great place for me to go, because I got to work for Max Levchin, who, as some of you probably know, was the co-founder of PayPal, and I learned a lot about product and a lot about startups from him, and which has helped me today. And so I spent 2 years there doing that, running some of the social applications there. They would soon go into social gaming, and I pretty much hate games, and so I decided to just leave and start my own thing. And at that point, my co-founder Aaron had just graduated from MIT. And Aaron, I don't want to make too much fun of him, but it's so easy. I don't know what he did in school other than I think he played Dota, poker, and went to exams. And so those were his 3 activities. And actually the 4th activity, I should say, was he was doing a startup as well here at MIT, and then he moved out to Silicon Valley when his co-founders decided to just take regular jobs. And he didn't. And so he was just crashing on my couch, essentially. And we both were trying to look for co-founders at the same time, and we decided we should just, try to work on things together. And that was in 2009. And it's worked out today. But I think the point I want to make is that, we started in 2009. And it wasn't until 2012 when we started Homejoy. And so there was this 3 years of just working on a lot of ideas and just being very persistent and getting through all those ideas until we got to the concept of Homejoy. So what I want to do is, so I don't forget, I wrote down 5 things that I wanted to get across today. One is, how many of you actually have a startup right now? Okay, just a few of you. Good. So for those of you who didn't raise your hand, eventually you'll want to perhaps, start your own thing. In this time period where you're not, and you don't, just because maybe you don't have an idea that you're really passionate about, you should always be learning. And so what I mean by that is, being a founder means you have to be a generalist. That is, you're not only the coder, you're the product person, you're the customer service person, you're the one, in my case, scrubbing toilets sometimes. And so you're just doing a bunch of all things, you're the jack of all trades. And so you just want to pick up as many skills as possible and hone those skills, because that will be very useful in the future. The other thing is, if you aren't working in your own startup, is instead of getting a job at some bank or something where you'll just waste, I think, your life away, you should really just work at a startup. And great startups to work at are those who have raised like a seed round or Series A, Series B. Those are, I think, the right kind of startups where you can learn a lot. There's still a lot of craziness going on, so you see all like the things that you'll learn, basically things that you want to do and things that you should not do at a startup when you start one yourself. At the same time, at that size, before Series C or Series D, where they get a little bit too big, the hierarchy is pretty flat, and so you can have access to senior management, you have access to founders, and you'll get to learn a lot from them, which is very valuable down in the future. So take note of that. So the second thing is, say you have an idea and you're now ready to do your own startup. Make sure that you're actually solving a problem that you're, one, passionate about, and one, it's a problem that people actually have, and in particular, one you have. So the biggest mistake I made in the beginning, and why it took us 3 years to get to a point where we had a reasonable idea, was because we just broke that rule in particular. So, when Aaron and I started, we had two criteria to fulfill. One was, we wanted to make people happy, and two was, we wanted to build a huge, humongous company, because that was a great proxy for impact and creating value in the world. And so we just said, okay, we want to do that. And our minds went straight to, okay, if we want to make people happy, who are the people who make people happy? And the immediate answer was life coaches and therapists. And so then we immediately built the platform for life coaches and therapists. But then, a few months later, and we actually got into Y Combinator with this idea, but a few months later, we couldn't get that many users, and we stopped growing. And then we really looked at it, and then we just kind of used our product ourselves, and then realized that, I like to tell people, we're not cynical people, but life coaches and therapists is not our thing. We just could not even focus during the sessions when we did it themselves. And so clearly, building a platform for life coaches and therapists was not, something we really cared about, we were really passionate about, and so we moved on to another idea. Another mistake we've made is creating the solution before actually realizing what the problem was. So around 2011, there was this a startup, or there was a product that became very popular in Silicon Valley. You might have heard of it. It's called Quora, and it's basically a Q&A, has great content on it. Highly suggest you. Yeah, Quora? Okay. Yes, a fan of Quora, or you worked at Quora, or? I love Quora. He loves Quora. Good. Yes. I love Quora too, and I liked it for the content, but I loved it because the technology they built was really cool. It was a real-time framework. They built it from scratch, and I became super obsessed with replicating it. And so I spent 3 months literally just trying to rebuild the whole thing, which I thought was cool. And it turns out, actually, there are many other people who did this exact same thing. I was hanging out with one of the founders of Stripe, Patrick Ollison, and he, during this time, 2011-ish, did the exact same thing, create a real-time framework based off of, trying to duplicate Quora. But in any case, we did that, or I did that, and then I went to Aaron and I was like, look at this cool, awesome thing I built. We should build a startup off of this, or build a company off of this. And then he sort of looked at me and was like, what are we going to build on this? This is completely useless. And I was like, just build Q&A on it. We'll just make people pay for this thing. So it was like, it was literally Quora, but you had to pay for it. And like, that's obviously not a good business idea, and it turns out, that was proven correct. So a whole 3 months building out this product, but what I should have done was just, start it from the beginning, which is what is the problem, and do other people actually have that exact same problem? The second thing, I'm looking at my time, okay. The third thing is, when you figure out the idea you really want to work on, expert in the industry. So, a lot of people say to disrupt or to innovate or whatever, the word for innovation for the day is, to really change that industry, you don't want to be a player in it, like a long-time player in it, because you learn a little bit, you just get used to all the things and all the inefficiencies of the industry and so on and so forth. And so, but you should go in with an eye for these sort of things, and being a new player in there and being a cog in the wheel for a little bit, so you really understand the things that you can change over time. And so an example of this is when we went into the cleaning industry, we became cleaners ourselves. And I actually got a job at a cleaning company, and I learned how to clean, which was great. They trained me. But the more important thing I learned was how a local cleaning company actually works, and why they couldn't scale past 12 or 13 or 14 cleaners, and how I could use technology to scale a company to thousands and thousands of cleaners, and still, be able to provide a great service like all the local companies do. Fourth is listen to your customers. So as engineers, we get very comfortable behind a computer, and we just, like to sit in the dark and just, sit there for hours and hours and hours and get something out the door, and we feel proud about it, which we should. But after you come up with your first version, what you should really be doing is getting off your chair, getting outside, and seeing how customers are, responding to your product. And it's not enough to just send out online forums, like remain in your seat and just send out online forums and get feedback. You should really look at how people are using it. You should really start conversations with people, because it's when you're there in person, they feel like they are then committed to telling you the honest truth and giving you honest feedback. So remember to talk with your customers. On that note, the customers or the users are always going to tell you, they're always going to suggest features that you should build. And what I say to that is, do not just go build those features out. Instead, figure out, why are they asking you for those features? What is the ultimate problem that they're really having? And then you are the expert in what you're building, so you should then build the actual features that actually solves their problems that they're having. And then lastly, back to one of my original points, is that persistence pays off. So startups are really, really, really hard. You have to work really, really, really hard. And Homejoy was literally the 13th fully built out product that we did over the course of 3 years, before we actually landed on, before we found something that actually grew and became, to what it is today. And, our problem was that we were really good at coming up with great ideas that turn out to be really bad ideas. And so what we needed was just time. And I think the probability, as long as you're executing to the fullest, and you're continually learning and thinking better about how to build product, then the probabilities of you running into or coming up with an idea that really can be big, the probabilities go into your favor over time. And so if you just stick with it, you just keep working at it, it will work out for you. I think the biggest thing here is, a lot of people like to glorify failure, which I think is a bad thing. Because I think failure is only if you just give up, right? Then you just go to another alternative that was not the best one that you had imagined. So just don't give up. So, lastly, by the way, I'm going to be doing Q&A after this, so please think of questions. About 5 minutes, I think, I'm going to do some Q&A. But lastly, one of the things that people ask me about is, what is it like to be a female in tech, a female founder, female CEO, whatever combination you can come up with the word female attached to it. And I used to not like that question because it sort of was this thing where I felt that Homejoy should be successful because it is Homejoy and it's a great company. But I've kind of come to terms now to wanting to answer that question publicly or whatnot. And I think the biggest thing to note is that whether you're female, whether you're a minority race or whatnot, people have lots of biases, subtle biases against whatever makes you different. And so, like I said, it's not just that you're a woman. It's not just you might be another, you might be a minority. You might have like an MBA. There's all these people who just don't have these biases and stereotypes, and it'll go against you over time. And so, I think the way to think about it is that everyone's different. But you should not let the law of averages go against you, right? You should really just work really hard. And I think if you work really hard, these things don't matter over time. So for example, perhaps being a female, actually, all things equal, is, people are not as fair in their judgments or whatever. But, investors in particular, they have LPs to report to. They need to invest in startups that are going to grow and be successful. So at the end of the day, all they're worried about is making money, right? And so if you have a startup that is successful, that's growing very fast, has good economics, good retention, good everything, then all these differences that you make up of that you can't control don't matter at the end of the day. So if your startup is hot enough, people will come to you and it does not matter. And so if you think of it in that terms, I think, it sucks and we shouldn't have to deal with biases and things like that. But it's one of those things where, your first priority is being an entrepreneur. And so you should just keep working on the thing that you're trying to drive towards and be successful at that and not worry about these other things. So I want to end off with, I am, like I said, I'm from South Carolina. I'm this dork from South Carolina that started, I didn't know anything about Silicon Valley, didn't know anything about, there was no hackathons back in those days, and I'm aging myself now, but I literally showed up to Silicon Valley with this dream of building some kind of big business, big startup that was going to be successful. And so I'm living my dream right now, and I started in a place where you guys are ahead of me. And so I think from that stance, you guys should think that everything is possible if you work really, really hard and just be persistent. So with that, I will end. I'm out of time. But I think we're going to do Q&A. So if anyone has questions, happy to take them. Is that what we're going to do?
So you can either stand or sit. It's up to you.
Stand. I can't see though.
All right. So as Adora mentioned, we have a special treat for you guys. She'll be taking questions for 10 minutes. Also, if you guys are curious about anything in Alexis' talk, or you just want to ask him a question, please go to alexis.reddit.com. He's holding an AMA. You'll see it at the very top of the page. And so I think we can start taking questions now.
Yeah. I can't see very.
You can't see.
Very quiet crowd. Oh, question. Yes. Question.
Yeah, use the mics located in the aisles.
Hi. You mentioned that you should try and become like a cog for 1 or 2 years in a A or B series company.
Oh, no, two separate things. You should never be a cog in a startup. But so first thing is, unless you have this, you're already starting a startup, my suggestion is to work at a startup and to work at one, in particular if they're between the seed or Series B area, then those are where you can see a lot of the craziness happening. You can, be very fundamental to what they're doing, or work on very fundamental things to building up the foundation of their business. Second, completely separate, is once you have an idea, you should become an expert in that idea. And so when I say being a cog in a wheel, I mean knowing what the people on the ground in that industry are actually doing. And so for me, for example, we became cleaners because in the cleaning industry, we're a two-sided platform. And so I needed to know how are cleaners chosen at a cleaning company, and also how do they work? I'm building tools for them, so I really need to know, understand their day-to-day activities and stuff like that. And the only way you're going to learn that is by being a cleaner yourself.
Okay, I was going to ask, where can we find jobs or postings of those small startups?
So you can go to homejoy.com/job listings. That's one place. There's probably some resource at MIT that has this too as well. There's also, if you go to Hacker News, there's a listing of YC startups there. And I think if you, AngelList is another one too, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sathya. I was listening to Travis Kalanick at TechCrunch a couple weeks ago. He was saying that when he graduated college, before he created Uber, he had working on a lot of startups just like yourself, and he just kind of nothing really clicked, and he was sort of this fierce mentality, whereas he was living in other people's houses, living on ramen noodle soup, and then he created Uber, and then at TechCrunch he was we're going into China. We're up against the big conglomerates in China, and we're still small. We're still fierce. So, with your 3 years that you were kind of working on a lot of things, how did that kind of help you? And do you still have that fierceness? Are you still a small guy compared to everybody, compared to Handybook, compared to all your competitors? How did that kind of shape your experiences?
It's a good question. Am I fierce? Yes. No. I think, sorry, I'm not sure, I want to make sure I answer the question right. So are you saying, I think I got it. So I like to consider myself always as the underdog. And I think, everyone does, because it makes you fight harder. It makes everyone in the company united against one common enemy. And so in that sense, I think for people in the transportation space or in the logistics space, it's against the taxi and the regulators and stuff like that. And so that's one common enemy. And your competitors are always when people ask me, what do you think about your competitors? I sort of say, well, in my mind, I'm I really hate them and I wish they would go away. But in reality, they also just validate the market a little bit. And so maybe it's nice to have them around a little bit, but I hope in the future they just go away. They just die. That's how I think about it. And that's how it does drive, competition does drive you to go faster in particular. And I've driven Uber and all these other types of companies to go faster. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. In the first 3 years that you're working on it, how did you, very simple, how did you pay for living expenses and everything? How did you get through that time period?
Yeah, credit cards, which I actually still keep to this day. This one credit card in my pocket that I maxed out. Actually, it's this one, this Amex. So I had savings from work. So the first year, just took out all my savings. We got a little bit of money from Y Combinator, and we actually raised a small round of $100,000 from First Round Capital after YC. And so that lasted for a year and a half. And the thing about running a startup is that it's not that it's not only you're paying rent, but you're paying server costs, which is cheap these days. So they're giving away for free basically to startups these days. But it's other things that you need in life too. So, you want to keep some level of sanity. But we did run out of money and we had to take out Amex cards. Actually, Homejoy almost died after Homejoy, we started in the summer of 2012. We ran out of money, ran out of credit cards. So this is the one where, this is actually my second credit card. So the first one I completely maxed out. This one, they put a $500 limit on it, and then I couldn't get another one. So this is like the last one I could possibly get at that time. And so we started Homejoy, and we had a few hundred customers in the door. We were just based in Mountain View at that time, and we wanted to go to San Francisco, which is like 30 miles north. And the only way we could do that was, we either were going to die or we had to raise a little bit of cash to keep going to get even to San Francisco. And so one day, Aaron was planning to go, like, as I said before, he's a poker player, and he was planning to go to Vegas to go, like, take the rest, like, we had $200 left on this thing, and he was planning on taking it there. I didn't have much faith in that one, or that plan, and so I set up a meeting with Max Levchen, who was my former boss, and I basically said, Aaron, this is either going to die today or not. And so we went to that meeting to Max's place. I remember this. It's like on Pacific Street or something in San Francisco, in North Beach. And we went there really nervous, and we just told them in about 5 minutes, like, what we were doing. We're seeing some growth, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And then we asked him, like, do you want to invest in this? And he pauses. Most of you don't know, you probably, if you ever meet him, you'll get what I'm saying, but he kind of just paused for a minute, just thought very deeply about what we were doing. And then he says, how much do you need? And at that point, we're like, we need $25K to keep going. And he pauses again, just looks down, up. And then he says, oh, that's it? I'll give you $25K. And then he just sort of checked and did that. And on top of that, the thing was, after that meeting, on that date, we also had another meeting with PG, Paul Graham, at Y Combinator, because I was planning on basically going to him like, hey, I think our startup is dead now, so help us, what do we need to do to wind this down? And so in the afternoon, we went to PG for office hours and told them the story and told them Max invested in, et cetera, and he says, oh, well, I'll give you $25K. And so at the end of the day, we went from like negative dollars to, $50K, which felt like $1 billion to us. And so it was that time where we were able to launch into San Francisco, and then everything just really took off from there. And then a few months later, we were able to close out our seed round. So these are sort of the moments that you have to go through, and it's very nerve-wracking. But I think at the end of the day, you just got to remember, like, there's a lot of stressful moments, and don't stress out about because it goes up and down, and there's going to be something more horrible down the road, so you might as well not, you might as well not stress out about it. So.
All right. Thank you, Adora. Unfortunately, we have no more time for questions. If you have any more questions for Adora, feel free to ask her after the ceremony is over. Thank you. Next up, I'd like to introduce Kate Yu to the stage. Kate is the Director of Sponsorship this year for HackMIT 2014. And in her free time, Kate enjoys swimming and sending angry Pusheen sticker Facebook messages to people who don't respond timely to emails. I speak from a little bit of personal experience. Please join me in welcoming Kate.
Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are all excited to be here.
No.
I just wanted to thank all of our wonderful sponsors for coming out and supporting us, whether it financially, sending mentors to offer their guidance, or offering their technologies for you guys to all hack on. So without further ado, I'd like to thank our platinum sponsors, Amadeus, Google, and Uber, our gold sponsors, Akamai, Bloomberg, BuzzFeed, Capital One, Coinbase, DirecTV, Facebook and Parse, Fiscal Note, GE and Quirky, Goldman Sachs, Hewlett-Packard, KPCB, Microsoft, Taser International, Thomson Reuters, Two Sigma, and Whisper. And our silver sponsors, Amazon Web Services, Booster, Booz Allen Hamilton, Circle, CodeShip, Comcast, GoDaddy, Kayak, and Yelp. And our bronze sponsors, Asana, Assembly.com, Cisco, DigitalOcean, Fitbit, Hill Holiday, Hudson River Trading, Jane Street, Kensho, Levant Power, Liberty Teller, Lob, Make School, The MIT Big Data Initiative, MIT IS&T, MongoDB, Namecheap, Nod Labs, Oculus, Rough Draft Ventures, Sailthrough, Synaptics, Atomic Labs, Tibco, Twilio, Wolfram Alpha, Yo, and Zigio. We would like to thank our partners, Andreessen Horowitz and Y Combinator, for supporting us today. And now we'll have a series of exciting, lightning, 30-second technical pitches from some of our sponsors.
Okay. We will have actually quick announcement to sponsors. If you're giving a talk and you're not in the queue backstage, please proceed backstage so that we can line you up and make sure everything's good for your talk. And first up, we'll have Or Arbel from Yo. It's that simple.
Yo, everyone. Well, Yo has the simplest API ever. It allows you to send a Yo and to get a Yo. But today we announce Yo Location. Yo Location allows you to get the location of the user, and by that it allows your service to Yo it back with a recommendation or information or whatever you can think of. Be creative, think about creative stuff. And you can just go on our API website and sign up, get an API token, start creating stuff. All the user has to do is just tap, a single tap, just Yo. And your service can answer with amazing information. Just Yo.
Next up, we have Matt Mackay from Twilio. And remember, get out your phones.
MIT, get out your phones and send a text message to this phone number. I put together a curated list of hackathon resources and starter kits so that you guys can start hacking right away with some infrastructure. It'll also give you a promo code to Twilio, so you can sign up for Twilio, which is a web API for sending and receiving text messages, making and receiving phone calls. We also just added MMS. My name is Matt Mackay. I'm a developer evangelist with Twilio. Happy to help you all weekend, regardless of whether you're using Twilio or not. I'm a Python developer as well. Thank you.
Next up, we have Martin Field from Yelp. Who's next?
Hi, MIT hackers. Just wanted to introduce our academic data set, the data set challenge, which is a cool way to win $5,000 or even more if you get published in an academic conference. It's got a ton of data from 5 different cities, over 1 million reviews, almost 1 million friend relationships in a graph. So, use it today, get started on a data set challenge project, and submit it to us later and show us what you built. Thanks.
My oh my, it's Chris Godine from Thalmic Labs.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris from Thalmic Labs, and I want to talk to you about the Myo armband. For those of you who haven't heard of this device, this is a really cool piece of tech. It understands what you're doing with your hands based off your forearm muscle activity. It also understands how you move your arm in space. You combine these two things together, and you have gesture control. You can use this technology to control virtually anything. I'm talking playing video games, control your Google Glass, fly drones, you name it. If you guys want to use natural interactions in your hacks, make sure you check this thing out. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Amalia and Shreya from MongoDB.
Hi, we're here from MongoDB. We build a database. Most of your hacks are probably going to have to store, handle, find data. We are a great place to put it in our database. So check us out and come find us if you need help.
Randall Hunt from Amazon Web Services.
Hi guys, if you go to that URL out there, I'll give you a couple $100 in AWS credit, free office hours, training, all this stuff with Solutions Architect. If you ever wanted to be a badass sysops engineer, that's where you go. Happy hacking.
Next up, we have Coinbase's Craig Hamill.
Hi everyone, I'm Craig Hamill, a software engineer from Coinbase, where we make Bitcoin easy to use. We think virtual currency is the future of money, and we provide 2 APIs for interacting with Bitcoin. The first lets you send Bitcoin, buy and sell, and create OAuth applications to control users' accounts, and the second lets you interface directly with the network to query the blockchain and look up transactions. So if you're considering building a Bitcoin project, consider our API. Thank you.
Next up, we have Peter Van Zee from HP.
Do you want to win an Oculus Rift VR headset for every member of your team? Then find the HP table and go to idleondemand.com, where we will teach you how to easily find faces in an image or read a barcode, find the sentiment in a piece of text, or like a tweet or a review, find the meaningful content in a text, like personal info, places, famous people. Search all of Wikipedia, current news, or your own content. You can extract text from over 1,000 different file types. You can summarize a document into a few sentences, find the main topics in a document, and find similar documents in a large collection. To win the VR headset, come to the HP table and show us your cool apps and how you're using the idleondemand.com APIs. Thank you. Good luck.
Next is Scott Bigart from Uber.
Hi everybody, with Uber, the on-demand transportation technology company. We just recently released an API that can be really helpful if your hack needs someone to go from point A to B. Since we're known for creating the button that you push on your phone and a car comes to you in real life, we're having a competition of a similar theme. So to the team with the best hack that does something in the physical world, we will be giving a prize of $200 in Uber credit for each team member. And also just lastly, I want to mention that we have all of our mentors from Uber are from our real-time team, and we have a lot of expertise in Node and JavaScript. So if you want to come by, say hi or jam. Thanks.
Here's Christopher Moe from 2 Sigma.
Hi guys, I'm Chris from 2 Sigma. We are a hedge fund located in New York, and we do a lot of data analysis and visualization. So I would like to present Beaker, which is an interactive notebook that allows you to very quickly hack up and analyze large amounts of data really quickly. It integrates really well with your favorite programming languages such as Python, R, Ruby, JavaScript, all at the same time. So if you're interested, please check out the website beakernotebook.com. Thank you.
Next, we have Steve Callan from Hill Holiday.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Steve. I'm from Hill Holiday. We are an integrated advertising agency here in Boston. We are looking for the top 5 hacks in TV, music, or entertainment. Each of those 5 hacks is going to get a $100 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of coffee. And those hacks are going to go on to our TV Next Summit conference at the end of the month to compete for $2,500. There's no API restrictions, no technology restrictions. If you have any questions, please feel free to find myself or someone on our team. Thanks.
Next, we have Austin Smith from Assembly.
Hi everyone, my name is Austin from Assembly. Assembly is a community of people building products collaboratively, so anyone can contribute just like an open source project, except all contributions are rewarded with an ownership stake. which translates to a portion of all future revenues. So a great example is a product called CoderWall, which is a social network for software developers, and it brings in like $20,000 a month in revenue, which then is distributed to the community of developers and designers who build and maintain it. We're giving away a prize of 2 Bitcoins for all you have to do to be eligible is throw your project up on Assembly where you can kind of continue to build it into a community-owned startup, and then we'll pick the most awesome one and give you 2 Bitcoins.
Next, let's all give a wave to DigitalOcean's Kishal Parikh.
Thanks for the intro. How many of you guys have heard of DigitalOcean? That's awesome. For the rest of you, DigitalOcean is the easiest to use cloud hosting providers built for developers like you. We all use our product and we love our users. You can spin up a server in under a minute. I'm giving $40 of credit to everybody here just for showing up. Stop by my booth, I have coupons for them. I have t-shirts, and also in the month of October, we're doing a contest called Hacktoberfest. If you have 50 GitHub commits in the month of October, you will get a free Hacktoberfest branded t-shirt. Happy hacking.
Next, we have Susan Danziger from Zigio.
Hi everyone, Zigio is an API for video recording and playback. We have an SDK for JavaScript, Android, and iOS. It's a really simple way to gather in user-generated videos. We handle everything. We handle the recording, the playback, the transcoding, and the hosting. We're giving away prizes today. We've got a cheat sheet, and hope you'll give it a try. Thanks very much.
Here is Matt Thompson from DirecTV.
Hey, I'm Matt from DirecTV, and we have everything you need to build the TV of tomorrow. So check out our website at directvdev.com, or stop by our table and you can actually borrow a dev kit with an actual TV and set-top box. And it's packed full of TV shows, movies, and football games you can use within our hack. And our HTML5 APIs let you overlay content on top of the TV, interact with the video, sync with the TV, all kinds of cool stuff like that. Or you can actually use our APIs to build an app that runs on your phone or watch that controls the TV over Wi-Fi. And the most innovative hack that we see using DirecTV APIs, you can win a 40-inch TV or DirecTV streaming NFL Sunday ticket package where you can watch all the football games without needing a satellite dish. Thanks a lot and happy hacking.
Next, we have Noah Keating from Quirky.
Hey guys. So I'm here from Quirky, and we have brought the Wink API to you, which is an API that drives the Android and iPhone apps of the same name. It is an API that connects some things that we've made at Quirky to the internet. So we have 4 products, which we brought about 5 of each. 2 sensors, 2 actuators. There's a refuel, spotter, pivot power, and Nimbus. Refuel is a propane tank scale. It'll weigh your propane tank or whatever else you want to put on it. Spotter is a multi-sensor, so you can sense things like light, sound, temperature, humidity, and movement. You can set up kind of triggers to drive other events out of that stuff. We have an API that you can make robots to interact between devices, shortcuts to access your settings with 1 click, groups to control multiple. So we hope that you'll use this to connect physical devices to all the other awesome things that are here at HackMIT. Thanks a lot.
Next, we have Nancy from Parse and Facebook.
Hey everybody, I'm here from Facebook and Parse. Parse is a super easy to deploy backend infrastructure for your mobile and web apps, so you don't really have to worry about anything except making a super awesome user experience in the next 48 hours or so. We're giving a workshop today at 2:15 p.m. in the mezzanine, and we're also giving away a Best Use of Parse prize. We're giving away $1,000. So come by, ask us tons of questions. We have tons of people here who can help you out with your hack if you're also looking to integrate Facebook products as well. All right, thanks you guys.
Next, we have Chris from Dropbox.
Ooh, gotta make this a little taller. Hey guys, so I'm Chris. I'm an engineer at Dropbox where I work on our API. Hopefully you guys already know what Dropbox does. And our API lets you do all that stuff on behalf of your users. So if you want to get data out of a user's Dropboxes into your application or get data out, check out the Dropbox API. You can find more info at dropbox.com/developers. And for this event, we're going to be giving the best use of the Dropbox API, as determined by me, 1,000 gigabytes for life, or about a terabyte. So yeah, if you use our API, you can have an infinite Dropbox for the rest of your life. So hopefully you use it. See ya.
Here we have Sail-Through's Tim Stevens.
Hey guys, I'm Tim Stevens. I'm a developer at Sail-Through. I actually started just about a month ago, and now I'm here talking to all you guys, so that's pretty exciting. Sail-Through is an omni-channel, targeted, directed branding, personalization communication engine. I know it's a lot of words. Pretty much what we do is we provide a SaaS for our clients to communicate data to us about what you guys all are reading or buying, and then we provide personalization information on that, which pretty much means that they can provide better service to you so that you can buy more stuff or read more articles that you're interested in. We actually, because we have a lot of personally identified information, we can't expose our API to you, but our challenge today is going to ask you to create an app that uses any public API to create a personalization engine, and our prize, I believe, is going to be a programmable LED pixel art. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Next, we have Josh Smith from Asana.
Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know, Asana is a real-time collaboration web app which you can use to coordinate on projects with your team. It's free for students, so you guys can all use it during the hackathon to help you figure out what you're going to get done. We also have an API at developers.asana.com, which you can use to automate any workflows that you want to do. Cool.
Next, we have Anush from Nod Labs.
Good morning, HackMIT. Who'd like to work on the real hard problems like human-machine interaction and converting like subtle human motion to gestures and action? So we have Nod, a device used for gesture control, and we have an open spatial API and an open skeletal API which allows you to track human skeletal motion. And we have a Unity plugin that goes along with it. Good luck.
Next, we have Flo from CodeShip.
Hey guys, we at CodeShip believe that shipping quickly and getting feedback all the time from your customers or even in a hackathon from your teammates is really important. So we want to help you by going through that hackathon and quickly shipping, quickly finding feedback and re-implementing new features all the way. We found that to be super helpful. So we're also putting up a coupon code for you guys if you want to move further along after the hackathon if you use MIT Hacks 14 to keep working on your product after that. But yeah, try CodeShip for the hackathon and keep implementing new features quickly. Thanks.
Next, we have Jeff from BuzzFeed.
Hey everyone. By the way, if you're curious about our stack, this is a highly technical diagram that we put together for you. So at HackMIT, we're unveiling our first public API. We've got endpoints for content, metadata about our content, reactions, comments, things like that. It's invite only, but you can come by. We've got auth tokens for you, some documentation, and some neat ideas for things that you can build on top of it, and some Python experts that help you out.
Next up, we'll have Hawk from Whisper.
All right, hi everyone. So I'm Hawk. As they mentioned, I'm from Whisper. So Whisper is a social, anonymous social network. And for HackMIT, we're doing a special preview of our public developer API. So if you're interested in using it, come find us. And the developer API will give you access to all the Whisper data on our feeds, be able to search Whispers through locations. And yeah, we have a lot of interesting data. Nick is here with us today, who is a data scientist. So if you're interested, come talk to us. Thank you.
Here's Jeremiah from Fitbit.
Hey, good morning, HackMIT. Again, my name is Jeremiah, and I'm an API engineer at Fitbit. We're going to be awarding a prize for the best use of the Fitbit API. In case you don't know, Fitbit makes wearable activity trackers and apps that help you measure steps, distance, calories, sleep quality, food consumption, and more. It is a web API, not a Bluetooth API, so you can't talk directly to the trackers, but you can get access to all of the data as soon as those trackers sync. So register your app at dev.fitbit.com, tweet at me to get full access to the API, and we have a bunch of devices to loan out. Any team that actually completes an integration with the Fitbit API gets to keep it. Good luck.
Next is Dave from Synaptics.
Hi, yeah, I'm Dave Gillespie from Synaptics. A lot of people have only vaguely heard of Synaptics. Maybe you saw our driver in your laptop or something like that. What we make is touch sensors, touch screens and phones, touchpads and laptops, fingerprint sensors nowadays. So we're kind of odd folks out here because we do hardware, not just software. So we have actual hardware with wires hanging out of it for HackMIT. We've got a couple of projects. We've got hover sensing phones based on actual Samsung Galaxy S phones. You can either use the high-level Android API, or we've got stuff to break out the raw capacitance data so that you can crunch the data yourselves. And then we also have projects with fingerprint readers, where again you can use the high-level API and do some kind of fingerprint authentication thing, or you can break out the raw data in a prototype fingerprint sensor and use the raw fingerprint images for whatever nefarious purposes you can think up. So come by our table. We're off to the side in the big auditorium, and pick up some stuff and ask some questions. Thanks.
Next, we have Al from Big Data at MIT CSAIL.
Cool. Oh, all right. Great. So our question is, what can campus Wi-Fi data tell you about life at MIT? We're sponsoring a $2,000 prize for best. We're releasing the coordinates 100 on-campus Wi-Fi access points, and the number of users at each access point over time. And that is refreshing. So you can find all of that on our website, along with a couple example apps that we built for you, the source code, and some generally useful APIs. Our prize will go to those that make the most creative and informative use of the Wi-Fi data. Thank you.
Here's Michael from Microsoft.
Hello everybody, how are we? Excellent. So we have a few REST-based APIs that you can use from just about any platform. I want to make special note of the OneNote API, our note-taking application. They're sponsoring our table today. We also have GroupMe, which is a group messaging API and application. We have APIs from Bing, which include speech recognition, translation, as well as search. The Visual Studio Online product we have also includes a REST-based API. And we're also sponsoring Microsoft Azure, which is our cloud-based API for IaaS, PaaS, etc. We also have loaner devices available. And lastly, you just come to our booth and get a free t-shirt and a license to Visual Studio Pro. Thank you.
From GoDaddy, Kier is here.
Hi, I'm Kier from GoDaddy, and I'm here to hope you guys will use our API to do some hacking. How many of you like food? How many of you like data? Well, come use our API. We got both food and data in there. You can find lots of stuff like what's the distribution of prices over espresso, or find foods that go together because top chefs have decided that they want to put them on their menu. I'm around. Come talk to me. dev.loku.com. Hope you guys have a great time. Thanks.
Next up, we have Phil Perot from Thomson Reuters.
Hi, everybody. We're glad to be here as a sponsor for the first time here at the MIT Hackathon. We're making 2 APIs available. The Cortellis API is for investigatorial drugs, and there's patent information, pipeline information. It's both available in SOAP and RESTful, and so you can get an XML and JSON. And then the second API is our wealth management API. So you can get stock quotes, you can get fundamental data, you can get forward estimates. So both of these APIs are available. Please stop by the booth. We got plenty of goodies to give out, and we're more than happy to mentor anybody on either of these APIs. Thank you.
Next, we have Andrew Paprocki from Bloomberg.
Slow clap, slow clap. So we have the largest financial network in the world that collects, normalizes, scrubs, analyzes, and redistributes 60+ billion pieces of market data per day. And that's sent around the world to all of our customers and to hackers here in this room. So we brought our API here. You can use it in anything from C++ and Java to Python, Node, and Haskell. I'm a judge. I would love if somebody makes a hack in Haskell to prove to the world that it can do something other than generate Fibonacci sequences. So come talk to anybody in a Bloomberg shirt for an API, VPN cert, an API key, and everything else. And we're awarding Razer Black Widow Chroma keyboards to the team with the best hack.
Search no further. Here's Beres Yüksel from Google.
Hello, everyone. Let's hear for the East Coast. What about the West Coast? Yeah. All right. So I'm Beres Yüksel from Google, and I'm featuring today the BigQuery API for Google. BigQuery is an API that makes it really easy for you to query large databases in parallel. So we have a prize. The winner of this prize is going to be featured on our official Google blog. And our competition is, there's this data set called GDALT dataset. It has 280 million entries of codified events, news events in the world from 1979 until today. So go to bit.ly/Google HackMIT 14. Look at the details of GDALT dataset, and then contact me with your projects. Good luck.
Next, we have Richard James from Goldman Sachs.
Hey, everyone. I bet many of you have looked at somebody else's Java code, and there's been a method where there's been 6 nested for loops, attribute filters, and who knows what else. It takes forever for you to work out what the code is doing, and it's very easy to introduce a bug. This is where GS Collections comes in. We developed it internally at Goldman Sachs. It's designed to increase developer productivity and code readability, and we've open sourced it on the Apache 2.0 license. It dramatically reduces the amount of code you've got to write, and when you use it in conjunction with Java 8 Landers, the code reads beautifully. Good luck, everyone.
Next, we have Tim Huang from Fiscal Note.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tim Huang. I serve as the founder and CEO of a company called Fiscal Note. We are a real-time open data and legal analytics platform capable of searching, tracking, and analyzing laws and case law from around the world. Real talk here. It's been a long journey. We started the company about 14 months ago out in Silicon Valley in our dorm rooms. And really glad to be here. We're backed by Mark Cuban, Jerry Yang, NEA, first round capital, and we'd love to talk to you. So stop by our booth. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Boone from Oculus.
That says jawbone. No slide? Okay. Hey, I'm from Oculus. We do VR, and we have 15 developer kits here, I guess, for you to use. And VR is basically a whole new medium, and the application space is widely unexplored, so it's like green pastures for you. So have fun.
Next is Gabrielle from Amadeus.
Hello everyone. Amadeus is the world leader in the IT travel industry. We are very proud to be here today with you, and we are providing you with our Travel Innovation Sandbox APIs. You can easily access worldwide content, for instance, fares and schedules for flights, hotel content, rides, and so on, using very simple, RESTful JSON web services. So do not hesitate to use it to shape the future of travel. Good luck, thank you, and have fun.
Next up, Adi from Jawbone.
Hey guys, we are Jawbone. We make the activity tracker Up24. We really want you guys to hack health this weekend. We have a really cool set of APIs. You can visit developer.jawbone.com or come find us at the booth. We are with A16Z. And we're giving away prizes for the best health hack who uses our Jawbone API. So come find us if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Here is Savada from Factual.
Hi, I'm from Factual. Factual is a startup that's aggregated location data for about 65 million different places around the world. We have location data on restaurants, hotels, museums, everything basically. If you're going to be building a location-based app, check out our website at factual.com or come see me at the developer space. I'll be at the A16Z table. Thank you.
And finally, we have Natasha from Levant.
Is that my video? Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'll have a video that's going to come up here shortly. Levant is a 2009 MIT startup. We've created a fully active suspension system for vehicles that eliminates basically any road harshness from the ride, like bumps or speed bumps or potholes in your road. Levant has a 12 millisecond reaction time, so the wheels react that quickly to the inputs in the road, which you'll see on my video here in a hot second. So what makes that happen? It's sophisticated controls algorithms and software embedded on advanced electronics that run a hydraulic valve, which we attach onto a standard shock damper. I wish you all a lot of luck today. We'll have a couple of our software engineers here to provide advice. And if you're looking for any sort of positions, please feel free to come and talk to me. I head on our recruiting at Levant. Just hang on for the video. It was in the Dropbox. You can play it from my phone. So you can
Introducing
see
GenShock, the world's first fully active regenerative suspension system.
See how the wheels react immediately to the road.
GenShock. What if your car could adapt to your needs?
Thanks, everybody. Good luck today.
Another big thank you to our sponsors today. Next up, we have Iris Fung from the HackMIT team, who has a little bit of housekeeping rules for you after the opening ceremony.
All right, hey guys, I know you guys are ready to go hack, but just a couple of things we want to cover before we let y'all go. We're really excited to have you here today, but we've got a few rules. Please treat everything here with respect. That includes the people around you, as well as the facilities we're using today. There will be no sleeping in Johnson this year. I know if you guys were here last year, there was sleeping all around, but we have matched you with host, and we'd request that you guys use your host. Call him up if you need to go sleep. Please keep your badges on you at all times. You'll need them for food, for getting back into Johnson, for security. If you guys have any questions, there is a hotline that you can call. It's on the back of your badge as well. And you can always come to the help desk at any time in the hacking arena. And you can also talk to anyone dressed in a green shirt. Okay, that's what we needed to cover. So, everyone who doesn't have a team, please stand up. We're gonna get you guys to team matching so you guys can get a team. I want you to, Rajiv, can you wave? Where are you? Oh yeah, all right, so follow him. He's gonna take you guys to the student center. There'll be food for you, so if you guys could all filter out.
Wait, hold up. Let's make this a bit more orderly. So once again, thank you guys so much for being such an attentive audience. Give it up for yourselves, come on. And actually, can we exit section by section, just so we don't clutter up the. All right, you know what? Whatever.
Okay, that's fine.
Actually, just leave.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool too.